Hello everyone! In this video, we are going to be taking a close and in-depth look at the Quest Pro controllers, which are the latest controllers released by Meta for the Quest Pro headset, but they can also be used with the Quest 2, which is the context in which I will be reviewing them. At the end of the video, I will be offering you what I see as the most compelling reason to upgrade to these controllers, so stay tuned. The Quest Pro controllers were the controllers released with the Pro headset, which came out towards the end of 2022. At the time, they were only usable with the Pro headset, but Meta did say they would make them usable with the Quest 2, and with Update V47, you can now use them with your Quest 2. And pairing them is actually as simple as just using the Quest app. You can find the Pro controllers as its own separate bundle on Amazon for approximately $299.99. In the bundle, you will get the controllers, of course. You get the charging dock for the controllers, a Type-C to Type-C cable that can be used to charge your Quest 2 by plugging it into the charging dock and then into your headset. And you get two stylus tips that you can use with your Quest Pro controllers. Be careful though, that you don't mistakenly throw away that tiny box the stylus tips come in, as I did. The box blends in really well with the rest of the garbage. Lucky for me, I hadn't emptied my trash and was able to recover them. To place these on the controllers, simply remove the wrist strap by giving it a quarter of a turn, which then allows you to remove the strap. Now simply insert the stylus tips. Talking about the design of these controllers, they have a slightly more ergonomic shape than the standard Quest 2 controllers, with a curved handle and textured grip, and for me, I found this made them more comfortable to hold, especially during longer gaming sessions. Though I did find that while there is a textured grip on them during games like Beat Saber where my hands sweat, it can be challenging to maintain a solid grip, so I would strongly recommend investing in something like the silicone anti-slip grips. The button placement is the standard layout you find on the Quest 2 controllers, with one key difference that adds to the comfort level: the thumb rest, for lack of a better word. While for both the location of the thumb rest is the same on the Quest 2 controllers, it's just one solid flat surface across, whereas on the Pro controllers it angles down slightly, giving it a more ergonomic feel and adding to the comfort level. In addition, that thumb rest doubles as a touchpad, though use is unclear to me at this time. Each Pro controller is powered by a Snapdragon 662 processor, which provides fast and smooth performance. However, there have been some reports of a slight delay when the controllers are first started up, and this has been my experience as well. And while it's slightly annoying, I suspect this is one of those things that may be resolved at some point with an update. Instead of tracking via inside-out tracking with tracking rings on the controllers and cameras on the headsets, as the Quest 2 controllers do, each Pro controller has three cameras, one on the top and two on the front, that allow the controller to basically track itself. This gives the controllers significantly improved tracking and resulting in a much smoother and more responsive gaming experience, particularly in games where even the slightest latency is glaring, such as Beat Saber. Be careful when developing a grip for games like Beat Saber though, as if you cover up one of those cameras with your thumb or finger, your tracking will basically go to the dogs, as you can see here. Beyond the improved and smoother tracking, what you also get with self-tracking controllers is the controller's ability to continue to smoothly track even when it's not in sight of the headset's cameras. Think pulling back a bow to the point where the controller is out of sight of the headset's cameras, or solid drives in a game of golf, or games of pool. Basically anything where the controller could lose line of sight with the headset, it shines. Let's talk haptic feedback. The haptic motors have been improved and provide a wider range of sensations, which really enhances the overall VR experience. I really notice this when playing Into the Radius and using the various firearms in it. Typically when playing these type of games, you shoot the gun, the controller buzzes a little, and you're like, whoop-de-doo. But with these, I'm like, ooh, that's nice. In addition, in games like this, the lack of tracking ring really stands out. You can manipulate things like slides, magazines, etc. much more effectively, as you don't have a tracking ring getting in your way. You can also line up your shots better. I had not noticed how much those tracking rings were getting in the way until I used a controller without them, and it's quite noticeable. Let's talk about the elephant in the room though, the battery life and the rechargeability of these things. They come with a built-in battery that when fully charged has an approximate life of 6 to 8 hours, but when that battery dies, unless you have a second pair of these lying around, or you want to repair your standard Quest 2 controllers, your gaming experience is basically dead in the water until you place these on the charger and recharge them, which takes approximately 1.5 to 2 hours because the battery on these is built in and you can't swap out a dead battery with a fully charged one. You might say, well, 6 to 8 hours is plenty of time, blah, blah, blah. You might say that if you're not a gamer, but as us gamers know that when you're deep in some of these games, 8 hours is nothing. I'm already finding myself up against the wall where I don't have enough hot swappable batteries for my headset to continue gaming non-stop. The solution in that case is easy, buy more batteries. But for these controllers, that's a hard stopping point. Moving on to the system these things recharge on, I feel like whomever designed them was more concerned with creating that cool looking next thing for the ads rather than a practical charging solution, because it's not very intuitive how these things go on, as evidenced by me in my previous video where I bumbled around trying to figure out how they go on. Even now, after figuring it out, it's still a struggle to get them to snap into place on the charger. There are multiple directions one could have gone to create a more user-friendly charging experience, and it feels like they chose the lesser user-friendly option in this case. Which brings me to the charging indicator lights on these things. Unless you use the exact plug that comes with this package, you won't see any battery charging indicator lights displayed on the controllers. So if you happen to lose that plug and you want to use something you have lying around the house, then you can kiss that little feature of the charging light goodbye. All in all, they're not bad little controllers. They're actually quite good. And after using them for a bit now, when I pick up the original Quest 2 controllers, I feel like that person who for years drove a Hoopty, then upgrades to a new 2022 BMW, but then something happens and they have to go back to driving that Hoopty, and they're like, no, please not the Hoopty. The deeper question here is, are they $300 great? The answer for me is yes, but you have to look deeper than just the Quest 2 argument. The Quest 2 is coming to its end of life, quite frankly, with the Quest 3 coming in mid to late 2023, so to see the value in these as an upgrade lies in if they can be used beyond the Quest 2, and maybe with the Quest 3. I don't see no reason why they wouldn't be usable with the Quest 3, although I put nothing past Meta, but let's assume they will be. Realistically, while the Quest 3 controllers may come with improvements over the Quest 2 controllers, they will still be consumer level controllers. And the word I've heard is they will still do inside-out tracking with tracking rings. For me, the $300 value lies in the ability to use them over multiple generations of headsets, so think of them as an investment in the future, not as an upgrade to the Quest 2. I hope you got value out of today's video. If you did, please subscribe, click that bell to get notified when my videos go live, and please drop a like on this video.